video is going to give you some tips for completing the 1-4 Math Excel. And as I move through this, just know that some of the numbers may be different whenever you are going through and completing your own Math Excel, because this program does regenerate answers. So make sure you follow my methods, but not necessarily the exact same numbers that I put in. So the first thing is you need to, on a sheet of paper, have these three formulas copied down: the recursive formula, the explicit formula, and the sum formula. The recursive formula is anytime it asks you to write a recursive equation. Notice the two things that are circled. Those are the only two things that you should be replacing. So the a sub 1, that's going to represent the first term. The d is going to represent the common difference. And in the explicit formula, those same two things are circled because, again, those are the only two things you're going to be replacing if you're just writing the formula. Now, for explicit, if you're asked to find a certain term, like say the 27th term, you would replace the n in the formula, the n here, with a 27, and then you would simplify and combine to find a single number. The sum you're going to use anytime you need to find the value of a series, because the sum allows you to add up terms as long as you know n, which is the number of terms in the series or in the sequence. A1, again, is that first term, like it was circled in red up here, and then AN is going to represent your last term. The 2 in the bottom is always a 2 in the bottom. So if we go back to Savas, this one is asking us first to write the explicit formula. But notice here it does say simplify your answer, and I'll address that here in a moment. So according to our equation, the explicit formula is the first term plus the common difference. Well, this one is going up by 5, so 5 is my common difference. And then I have a parenthesis, and then I have an n minus 1. Now, this is not simplified. I would be okay on a test or quiz if you put your solution like this, but Savas does want you to simplify, which means they want you to distribute that 5 to the n and to the 1 and then combine your like terms. So I don't have anywhere else that I can type this, so I'm actually going to just go back and type over this. So when I distribute, the 5 times the n is 5n, the 5 times the negative 1 is minus 5. This is what it looks like once you distribute, but then the 4 and the negative 5 can be combined together, and that makes a negative 1. So your final answer simplified is going to be 5n minus 1. And if I click down here to check answer, you can see that was what they wanted. And so next, it wants me to write the recursive formula. Well, the recursive formula, the an is going to be the bottom line actually in your formula. A1 is going to be your first term. So I'm going to actually fill that in first because I know that my first term is a 4. Up here, my AN, that is going to equal the previous term, so that's going to be A, and then I need my subscript, n minus 1. If I press the right arrow, then I come out of that subscript, and then I'm adding the common difference, which is 5. So AN plus 5, and I can click check answer, and there I get that one correct. So again, for the recursive, instead of making it the piecewise function, they actually just kind of split that up there. And that was it for this question. If you want to try a similar question, you can click similar question. Otherwise, you want to click next, because if you just keep clicking similar question, you're not actually going to progress through the problems that you have.